What really went wrong for Paulaner's Oktoberfest beer this year? We are about to find out. Hello and welcome back to the channel, and yes, today I am finally going to try and work out what really happened with Paulaner's Oktoberfest beer from this year. It was the first beer I reviewed, and to be honest, it was going to be the only beer from Oktoberfest this year that I was going to review, and it turned out to be so poor I had to go and try all the others to then work out where the problem really was. And well, we never got a definitive answer, at least until today. A lot of people said it was awful. Like I said, it really just was too bitter, not malty enough, not special enough, feeling a bit Pilsner-esque. On the flip side though, this of course is the internet, and on the internet people love nothing more than to disagree with one another, and quite a few people said they thought it was pretty good. Now, were those people uninformed, lying, or genuinely correct? And if that is the case, then well, maybe it was just a batch issue after all. So, to try and work out if that indeed was the case, I have got 3 different batches of this year's Paulaner Oktoberfest beer to work it out once and for all. For those of you wondering, Tom, why are you still banging on about Oktoberfest beers at the end of November? The reason is simple. I want an answer, and the reason it's so late is because, well, I've been away for 3 weeks and I've been trying to get hold of a bottle of the German market version of this beer. And I don't mean German Christmas markets, I mean, you know, the bottles made for Germany, the ones that are all in German, and sadly I wasn't able to do so. But I've got the next best thing, 3 bottles which are all from different batches, or at least 2 from different batches and 2 that are in different containers. So this one over here is segregated for a reason. It's the one that was pretty poor. This came from the batch that I bought from Majestic Wines. I don't think this is a Majestic Wine issue because a lot of people bought it from other places and said the same thing. That is where that originated, and that has a best before date of July next year. Over here is another international version. If I compare the backs of these bottles, they are absolutely identical in terms of the way that they're labelled up. However, the best before on this bottle is August next year. It is a fresher, it is a newer bottle than the ones I originally tried. And finally, the can. Different packaging format, don't see it in the UK that often. This is not just UK spec, this is proper international. If I look on the back of the bottles, it's in English, followed by French, followed by Italian. I think that's it, maybe Spanish at the end there. And looking at the cans, well, yes, this is truly international market spec, because I can't even try to make a start on reading much of that. So as a result, it stands to reason that they are 3 different batches. However, can't definitively say it because the best before on the can is also July next year. So I guess we've just got to get these open and find out. What I'm going to do first though is open up the bottle and can for the ones I haven't tried yet. So we're going to put our definite no-go over here, and we'll open that up if we need to clarify anything basically. But really what we're asking is, were any of the other options better than what we had before? So both of the 2 that I've poured are described as the same thing. It's Paulaner's Oktoberfest beer. They're both 6%, and they both should be pretty similar. And if I hold them up there, now it's going to be a bit tricky for you to work it out because all the colour behind, but if I hold them up to the light, they are nigh on the same. If anything, the can looks a smidge lighter, a smidge more pale. But, and again, I think that might just be lighting. So we are going to say, for all intents and purposes, they do indeed look absolutely the same. The aroma then on the bottled version. Okay, good start, nice, bready, doughy, bit of spice in there. I feel like I said this about the one I didn't like though, so let's not get too excited. It's distinctly rich, a bit of a caramel flare to it. It smells pretty damn good, if I'm honest. Not getting much hop note through, which again, I can't remember if it was on the aroma or the other, but yeah, we'll come back to that. Anyway, the canned version. Flavours are much more dulled. I could probably retitle this video, what's the difference between bottled beer and canned beer, because that's effectively also what we're going to find out here today, but that is dulled down. It's still sweet, still a little bit spicy, but it's gone a bit foggy. You know what I mean? Like, it's got that slightly damp hop note to it that I'm really not picking up on the real deal. Obviously, there's not a huge difference here. This is the same beer in slightly different packaging. The process of getting them into those packages will be slightly different, so they have got the opportunity to be changed. People will forever tell you that bottled beer and canned beer makes no difference, but I wholeheartedly disagree on that one, if I'm totally honest with you. But anyway, the glass one, it smells fresher, it does smell better. Of course, different batches. It is newer, but only by a month. I wouldn't expect a massive difference. Now they're both, what are we, 4 and 5 months old respectively, or whatever it is. And yeah, let's be honest, it shouldn't be a huge difference. Anyway, I'm going to go in for the bottle first. Let's give it a try. Cheers. Okay, I'm now nothing but confused. The glass bottle I've just opened tastes not all that much like I remember the other glass bottle that I tried a few months ago tasting at all. I mean, yes, it tastes like a Paulaner beer and it tastes like an Oktoberfest beer, but it really doesn't have any of that, well, the negatives. There is still some hop character, there is still some bitterness, but it's more measured, it's softer, it feels like it should in this type of beer, and the richness from the grains coming through, getting the water profile like I want in this style of beer. It is just, okay, not their finest work. I still don't think it is as good as I remember last year's being, but it is nowhere near as poor as the one I had a few months ago. Onto the can then. Cheers. Wow, way more bitter, way tartar, way more. Look, I said at the time, they're still not bad beers, right? When these are poor, they're still great in the grand scheme of all beer. But it is too bitter, it is too sharp, it's not got the depth and just the intense sweetness of the other material in there that I would be expecting. It feels too hoppy, or maybe like there's a fault with the beer. Comparing these two side by side, there's no contest. This bottle is clearly heaps and bounds better. Heaps and bounds? Leaps and bounds. You get the idea. So, I think what I thought might be a very long and awkward video trying to rationalise some thoughts and comparing beer turns out to be pretty simple. The original bottle that I said wasn't very good and the can that both go out of date in July next year very likely came from the same batch, and that batch was poor as. On the flip side, this slightly newer version, this slightly, I don't know, I assume there was no technical difference in the production, and of course batches will vary, but this is much closer to what I expect from Paulaner from an Oktoberfest beer. And to be honest, I think in that we really just have our evidence. The people in the comments of that video going, I don't know what you're talking about, I really liked it, you got this one, I'm pretty sure, because it's just not right, the poor one. It really is not very good at all, and it doesn't matter how many times you keep going back to it, it just bites you. Really, it's not, again, it wouldn't be a bad beer by any metric. It doesn't feel off, even though that could be part of the problem. It just feels, well, it feels like a completely different style. Were there too many hops added? Were they boiled for too long? Not long enough? I don't know what it is, but it just feels like the due care and attention that I expect from Paulaner, which I'm getting right here, is not evident over here in this can, or indeed in the original set of bottles. So if you've got any of these left, take a look at home. Let me know in the comments what dates yours are, and if you've got any other dates that I've not got. So this is July and August expiration dates for next year. And yeah, have you got any others, and how would they? You know, are the July ones the anomaly and they just bad and happen to be what got imported into the UK early doors, or indeed is this August one a bit of a red herring and it's pretty decent, but the others really aren't up to it? I still don't think this is breaking top 3 for Oktoberfest this year. It's coming very much mid-pack. It's definitely nowhere near as just enjoyably decadent as it was last year's. The last year's you could drink loads of it, but also it really was all there, full flavour, and it's solid this year. It's just not outstanding, is what I'm going to say for that good example. But the poor example, really just needs to get in the bin, if I'm honest. So yeah, it'd be interesting to know your thoughts in the comments, please, if you would. But yeah, I think that's really all I've got to say about it. Slightly shorter video this time, but we have made a conclusion. They weren't all bad, but some of them definitely were. And as I say, that is all I've got to say about it. So as always, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like it. If you haven't already, subscribe if you will be so kind, and I'll catch you next time. Cheers.